Welcome. It's another Friday afternoon here at WRMN Studios, 1410 a.m., broadcasting live out of downtown Elgin. I am your host for Life Experience with William Pelarenos, and obviously I'm William Pelarenos. I am here. I have Matthew, whose broadcast Out to Lunch just ended. He's on the boards. Matthew?
Hi, yes, hello.
And I have a wonderful guest, and we'll get them in a minute. His name is Colm, and I'll explain why he's here today. Are our phone lines open?
They sure are. 847-931-1410.
Okay, we are broadcasting live, so feel free to call in. The first half of our program, we're going to talk about scams that are going on, not only text scams, email scams, but also physical scams that result in burglaries to your residence. And if you're following me on YouTube, that's why I'm wearing one of these traffic vests here. What's happening, there's a lot of scams, and basically what they're doing is they're targeting senior citizens. There's culprits, I should say, that wear these traffic vests, and sometimes they even have IDs, and they're approaching senior citizens. They're out in the garden or whatever they are outside doing, and they tell them, hey, we're from the water department, going to shut down the water. Or they tell them there's some kind of a utility emergency. And what's happening is they're being conned. Once they let these people in their house, one of the two culprits is entering the bedroom, because a lot of people keep their valuables in the bedroom. They think it's safe, but you're not going to be in the bedroom 24/7. So what's happening is they're burglarizing the bedroom. They're going straight for the bedroom. They steal jewelry, of course. They steal money. And sometimes they even steal weapons. And I have a case about that that's very interesting to talk about if we have a little bit of time. But what's happening is the targets, are senior citizens, and they're being conned. And this is called a ruse burglary. There's a lot of different cons like this. Just because somebody's wearing a traffic vest does not mean they have an aura of authority. You could buy these things at the flea market for $10. The reason I got them is I ride a bicycle, and I like to be highly visible. And we'll talk about that, too. So Colm is here. He's a retired Air Force technical sergeant, and his career spanned from 1986 to 2007. Is that correct?
Yep.
And he's honorably discharged. He is a family man. He lives in Illinois. And he's also a member of the Veterans Roundtable at the Frisbee Center in Des Plaines, which I happened to be talking about yesterday. And I was talking about these scams, and we're going to get a lot more to them. But he was actually the victim of a Facebook scam. Matthew, have you heard about these Facebook impersonators that try to take your identity? Mm-hmm. That's what happened to this poor fellow.
Yeah, it's hard to get by, too.
Yes. And he'll tell us the story in a minute, but I just want to go through some of these scams. And I talked to an FBI agent the other day about some of these scams, and I picked up some literature, and Matthew's putting it on the YouTube now. And there's a lot of scams going on. The first one is a lottery scam. In the lottery scam, you're going to receive either an email or a phone call congratulating you on being a winner, and then they're going to ask you for an upfront payment for fees and taxes. Similarly, if you are asked to pay in advance on the sweepstakes prize winnings, it could be a scam. Listen to me. I know a person who won the little lotto. The winnings was $21,000, okay? Mm-hmm. She didn't feel safe going to collect it by herself, so I drove her out there. At the time, it was one of the offices that you could pay. It was in Lombard. So we went out there. And they wrote her a check right there and then, and they took the taxes out right there and then. You don't pay no taxes. You're not gonna, you don't have to give a payment if you win the lottery. The lottery will take the taxes out of the winnings. So this is totally a scam here. Another one is a phishing scam. It happens when you receive authentic-looking emails or text messages with links that ask you to share a bank or credit card. I've been getting a couple of these for the tollway violations. Mm-hmm. They want me to pay $3.99. I am not going to fall for that. I came close to it because I just signed up for one of those tollway iPasses. Mm-hmm. You used to be able to get them at a Jewel, but no more. Now it's a sticker. you have to sign up online. So 3 or 4 days after I signed up, I started getting these messages. So I happen to suspect maybe they've accessed the tollways. How did they know? Was it just a coincidence that I happened to sign up for it? Or have they accessed information from that tollway?
It could be a
bypass?
blanket scam.
Huh?
It could be a blanket scam where they just throw out 10,000 random emails. You'll see that on your phone when you get these text messages that tell you have to respond within so many hours, or a bill from some medical or some government agency, like a ticket or something, right? Mm-hmm. You're going to be penalized. They if you say 99 out of 100 won't give you anything, if the other 100 of the 10,000 people that they throw out a scam to, they could be getting their life savings. Mm-hmm. And that's all it takes, just one. So it could be a blanket scam. There's many ways that it could approach you, but there's nothing to say it couldn't be, like you said, targeted.
Yes. And also, I've been getting these things, work from home, $300 a day. $300 a day. Come on, man. If you fall for that one, I got a bridge. I want to tell you that bridge that everybody hits up in Long Grove. We talked about that.
Yes. Uh-huh.
What is it? The Robert Thompson Bridge or something?
I do believe so.
Okay, don't Google it. We had a whole show on that one. Grandparent scam. If you get a call from a grandchild or relative asking you to help with money, to wire money or send gift cards to help them out of trouble, and they ask you not to tell anyone, it could be a scam. Well, now they've even got it down. I heard somebody that complained about one of these scams. They somehow, through AI, can generate the voice of that person.
Yes.
Yeah.
You've heard about this, right?
It's a scary thing that's going on where they can pick up your voice from wherever it's out, and your face.
Through AI, they can
Yes.
repopulate your face.
Yes. So don't believe none of this if people are calling you up asking to wire money. Confirm it with other relatives. And if you want, you can always call the police. Let them come over. Let them start making phone calls to figure out what the problem is. Charity scams. If you get a call or an email asking for a donation to a charity you've never heard of, look the charity up before you give out your credit card number. Scammers could be trying to take advantage of your generosity. I get these scams that they use the word police, federation, police this, police. You know, we could create any corporation that with the word police. Mm-hmm. You know, my email is Police Project One because my Twitter X is at Police Project One, because my website is policeproject1.com. Mm-hmm. You could put police in anything. It doesn't mean you're the police.
Right.
You could put Police Assistance Corporation. You know what I'm saying? It's just a word. You're not saying you're the Chicago Police or the Elgin Police. You're just using a generic police. I started my website, Police Project One, because when I retired from the police department, I was teaching police classes, field sobriety classes and DUI detection classes to police officers. Since then, I've expanded. But that's how I started with policeproject1.com. So don't believe these scams, these charity scams. If you want to give to charity, and I do every Friday, and this is a Friday, I look through the GoFundMes, and I always give $10 or $15 or $20 because you can deduct charity donations off your taxes at the end of the year. You know this, right?
Yep.
And I like to be charitable, and I figure if everybody gave $10, less than the price of a Happy Meal, you keep the charities going, especially in these GoFundMes where people have been injured, especially traffic accidents, and trying to raise money for medical bills. Because even with Blue Cross, I have the Blue Cross, it only covers 80%. I still get medical bills, you know, so I try to help people out. Spoofing. This is an interesting one. In a spoof scam, criminals send an email that looks like it's from a friend who needs money to deal with an emergency. If you receive this email, it always check with the sender or the person by phone. So if John Doe, your cousin or your friend, sends you an email, hey, I need some money, can you wire me some money? Mm-hmm. Call him up. Don't call him after you send the money. calling them up. There's a lot more scams going on besides this. We've talked about how when I had the realtors here, how they intercept payments where people are making payments to buy property. Mm-hmm. We've also talked about scams where there's vacant property and scammers find out and they rent it, and there's poor unsuspecting souls that got a lease, but the person that leased it to them is getting the money is not the owner of the property. And then you get the property owner that wants these people off his property because he didn't authorize them to be there in the first place. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of scams going on. We've touched on a few of them in the past, but Colm here was the victim of a Facebook scam, and we want to get to that right now. So Colm, why don't you tell the backstory of that?
All right. Okay, Facebook. March last year, I just got home from overseas, been home maybe 2 weeks, and was alerted there was an AT&T hack. More millions of customers, privacy was hacked. So that meant the content that you were watching or the messages that you were sending, any of those transactions that you might have sent could have been intercepted. Subsequently to that alert, my Facebook was very active and more active. So whenever I get a Facebook, I might get an alert on my phone, to respond if there's a conversation I might be involved in or looking for someone. It's like, hey, so-and-so's birthday.
It says you've been tagged, correct? That's what I get on Facebook. You've been tagged.
No. What it was there was responses from other people to my email, to my email, but from Facebook. So they were responding to me on my email from things they saw on Facebook. But in reality, the people that they were responding to on Facebook wasn't me. This individual
impersonated you.
Yes, I got his name too. It was like
don't mention his name, but go ahead.
Right, thank you, because I tear it up.
Go ahead.
Anyway, so this individual was one of many. It's a dark web. Once your information is taken, it's then sold to so many other people who have an efficiency with, say, any app that they download. I explained this to you before about how I was hacked years earlier, where they had pirated my phone, and then they did a phone transfer just by providing the 4 simple digits required whenever you want to switch carriers. So this individual who had pirated my phone from Verizon, which was mine, to T-Mobile, some guy in Florida, and they were able to get all my information from my phone. So they had all the apps on there, all the emails, that my accounts. Now, if the passwords were open, well, then it was open because it was just me. So I didn't really practice that vigilant of security of my own phone 8 years ago. And this happened then. So they can get everything. The same thing can happen on Facebook, which is what did happen. Is this individual started representing me. It was funny because I turned 60 that year, the same month, and we were out to dinner, a large family. I'm Irish Catholic, so there's like I have 10 brothers and sisters. So we had a large gathering, not quite that many families members, but a lot. And my nephew pulls up his phone. He goes, "Uncle Colm, is this you?" And I go, "No." And it was a picture that I had posted of myself when I was doing a bike tour around Lake Michigan up north. And this is like an early jaunt of it. I was like by Botanical Gardens. And I go, "No," but this person was saying, "Happy birthday" to me. And he was me, but it wasn't me. Mm-hmm. And he was able to access all the content that anyone had responded to. He was able to get in touch with everybody. So people that I know, people of people on Facebook, you're friends on Facebook is like, "Yeah, I know so-and-so. Is your 5th degree of separation," all that jazz. Mm-hmm. So everybody who saw that and knew of me thought, like, that's great news. I just had a reunion last month with a bunch of aeromedics that I served with out at O'Hare, and they were telling me, "Colm, I'm so disappointed you didn't share more of that wealth. I was waiting for this." People were paying this guy money for Bitcoin information, and they're calling me up, "Colm, I want my money back." And I'm like, "You got to go to the police. You got to do what I did. First thing you got to do is you got to make a police report." That turns out, though, if that individual's from another country, which I don't know where this Facebook guy is from, but I know this from experience I told you about last year when I got my Facebook hack, was last year. They also hacked into my phone from that, my American Airlines account, where I have frequent flyer miles. They redeemed over 100,000 miles for two first class tickets from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And I thought, and it happens that fast. It really does. It's really fast. And I'm like, they were on a plane for 8 hours, or whatever it takes to get from, I'd say about at least 6 hours to get from there to Saudi Arabia. And flying into a Muslim country where if you're a thief, you lose your hands. I'm like, this is just crazy. And they have their picture. They're going through international airports. So it's not like they're not going to find out. I have no agency, though. So I have to go to the police department first, which is then forwarded to the FBI. Now, they can present agency for American companies who are paying taxes in another country, like Saudi Arabia. The airlines pays a fee to Saudi Arabia just to allow the planes to land there. Like, if you want to land on O'Hare, you have to schedule time.
So the FBI took over the investigation.
So the FBI took over. FBI gave American Airlines the agency representation, as an American, as part of a fair trade, that they would be protected in the Saudi Arabian courts if the Saudi Arabians chose to prosecute. That's up to them then. But it's in their best interest to, keep crime down. So you would think that's something I can't imagine living like that. So
were these scammers caught?
No, no. After I was cut loose. For all they know, I probably set it up myself. When you're talking with
okay, but you had to cancel your Facebook account.
Yeah.
You had to
I didn't have a choice.
Contact the airlines to change your frequent flyer mileage.
Yeah, I was made whole on all that, but I had to go through those steps.
Yes, but you started by contacting the police and subsequently went to the FBI.
Yes.
Now, I'm glad you mentioned this because when I did my my talk about these scams at the Veterans Organization yesterday, which you were a participant at, I talked about talking to the FBI about this, and people don't understand how much the FBI does. When they think about the FBI, they think about bank robberies. You know what I'm saying? But they actually investigate these type of crimes that really end up in an international arena. So, you, in order to unravel this, you contacted Facebook. Did Facebook do anything to help you?
Nothing.
No?
Oh my! Facebook was worse than useless. They just perpetuated this. This individual, to my knowledge, is still doing this to people that I care about, which is why I'm
so
never
what
on
he's
any
doing,
social
he's
media.
using your identity to sell cryptocurrency.
Oh, yeah.
And the cryptocurrency is actually a scam.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk about cryptocurrency scam because I actually attended one of those classes.
Really?
So I'm going to talk about that in the future program, but just be aware that there are cryptocurrency scams out there, and be very careful before investing in any type of that type of investment, and we'll talk about that. But you had to try to also notify these people that it's a scam, right? So you had to call them on the phone or try to get contact, right?
In a perfect world, but I don't know who's been scammed. I'm like, I don't know who's.
But at least you know the people that contacted you.
Oh, yes, them. I give them this. I give the same advice I'm giving listeners or watchers today. It's what you need to do. Those are the steps that need to be accomplished in order to hope to recover any of your, to limit the harm. Now, the harm, to all I know, is still ongoing with this identity posing as me, posting pictures of me all over the world now. I'm quite the traveler. I really am. I didn't know about that. But those are the steps you have to go through. Yep.
Yeah. So anyways, we were getting to Facebook. Didn't help you at all?
Not at all.
Is there actually a customer service or somebody physically answers the phone when you try to contact Facebook?
Oh, my God. I call Ireland. When I call Ireland for the embassy there, because I have dual citizenship with them, because my parents were born there, so you get that automatically. So when you call there, unlike when you call an American, a United States government service, somebody actually picks up the phone there, and somebody that picks up the phone is the person you're calling to talk to, which is amazing to me, because whenever you call someone here, you never get the person you're calling first. You get some AI voice that's speaking.
Automated, press 1, press 2.
And none of the numbers match, and after the 6th or 7th, you just resign and press anything to talk to somebody, which and invariably ends up to be the wrong person. But when you call Ireland and the embassy there, boom, they answer the phone. Yep, okay, here's your deal. Yeah, I see that. Boom, it's all on the phone. It's so much more, I don't see this person that I'm talking to over there, but I'm confident what they're saying is true because I see it in my ledger. I see that, for example, I applied for a passport twice, because I forgot I did.
So you contacted the embassy?
No, not the embassy, the passport office.
Oh, the passport.
But but to be truthful, yes, I did contact the embassy for guidance initially, and they gave me guidance. It's just go
because
online,
of this
man.
identity theft. So anyways, monitor your Facebook accounts. Make sure you Google yourself. You hear commercials all the time about this. Google yourself. Check what's out there. Google yourself any variations of your name. If your name is John, check under Jack or Jay. You know what I mean? So like I always check William Pelarenos and Bill Pelarenos.
I do Matthew and Matt.
Matthew and Matt. Do you do St. Matthew?
No.
Oh, okay. So anyways, yes, we're going to go to quick commercial break. We're going to come back with Colm here. The second half of the program is going to be a very interesting discussion because Matthew was at an Air Force base when there was a huge air crash out in Germany.
You were too?
And
you said my name.
I'm sorry?
You said my name.
My son. Not my son,
sorry.
Matthew.
Colm. Colm, I misunderstood.
You were with me in spirit. That's what I'm saying.
I misunderstood. I'm looking at Matthew here and Colm. They got me confused on this Friday. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley. This update brought to you by VaxAssist.com. A Woodstock Police Department officer rescued a woman who was in a wheelchair from a house fire Tuesday evening. The Woodstock Fire and Rescue District responded to the home in the 200 block of Sparrow Drive in Woodstock about 5 p.m. on Tuesday for a report of an appliance on fire in the kitchen. An officer arrived just before fire crews got to the blaze and rescued the woman who was in a wheelchair from the smoke-filled home. Firefighters were then able to quickly extinguish the blaze. The woman was taken to a local hospital for further treatment. The blaze was contained in the kitchen and smoke damage was found throughout the home, and the house remains uninhabitable until repairs can be made. More utility work has begun on East State Street in Geneva ahead of a highway reconstruction project tentatively expected to start next spring. The Illinois Department of Transportation plans to rebuild State Street from Glengarry Drive to the Fox River, and utility relocations are required ahead of the multi-year project. The construction will involve roadway widening, bike lanes, streetscape enhancements, traffic signal upgrades, new street lighting, and water main and storm sewer infrastructure improvements. A repeat DUI offender has been charged with another felony after a traffic stop Sunday morning in Oswego. 55-year-old Richard Haley was taken into custody on an aggravated DUI charge after Oswego police officers pulled him over about 10:39 a.m. Sunday near Route 31 and Century Drive. When asked for identification, Haley showed police another person's ID, according to a news release. A dog that was in the car with Haley was safely taken to animal control. In addition to driving under the influence, Haley was also charged with driving while license revoked and obstructing identification. The Transportation Department is going to train 163 track inspectors to dramatically increase the number of people who know how to spot critical problems with railroad bridges. The railroads themselves will still be responsible for inspecting their own bridges, and the results will still be kept confidential. I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your boat, boat wins.
What are you going to do? Take the boat out for a spin or go mail something? Boat wins! Are we cleaning the patio or taking the boat out fishing? Boat wins! Are we skipping that eye exam to go sailing? Boat wins!
Rescheduling eye exams can be a nightmare.
All right, fine. Eye exam, then boat.
Yeah! With Progressive, you can bundle your boat with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings on your boat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. This afternoon, mostly sunny with a high near 63. Windy with gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 43. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high near 66. Temperatures falling to around 62 in the afternoon. Currently, it is 62 with mainly clear skies. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-791-1313. 800-791-1313.
Twin Zeros at 4870 North Harlem Avenue in Harwood Heights, Illinois. Check out the full menu at twinzeros.com. Twin Zeros Restaurant in Harwood Heights not only serves traditional gyros, but also has chicken gyro sandwiches. Twin Zeros also serves a variety of sandwiches ranging from cheeseburgers and Vienna beef hot dogs that have recently been inducted into the Vienna Beef Hot Dog Hall of Fame, Italian beef, Italian sausage, and combo sandwiches. To ethnic favorites such as Slovaki and Grecian chicken. Slovaki is shish kebabs, specifically chicken or pork shish kebabs, grilled to perfection, served on a warm pita with tomatoes, onions, and our homemade tzatziki sauce. You can also enjoy barbecue ribs served every day. Twins is open 7 days a week and also delivers locally. Located at 4870 North Harlem Avenue in Harwood Heights. Check out the full menu at twinzeros.com. That's twinzeros.com.
The new novel, titled DUI Jury Trial, is the true story of two lawyers who defend a truck driver who is charged with DUI. If he's convicted, this truck driver faces a lifetime disqualification of his commercial driver's license, which would prevent him from ever driving a truck again. This 3-year legal battle culminates in a courtroom showdown, which involves the testimony of a DUI expert witness. This book, DUI Jury Trial, is now available on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com.
Are you looking for a way to be creative right now? Have you ever wanted to learn to watercolor paint? You can now do that from the comfort of your own home with Zoom watercolor classes. Get professional instruction from nationally showing artist Victoria Elizabeth. These classes are step-by-step, broken down with easy-to-understand instructions. They're affordable, too, at $15 for a 2-hour class. Visit her website at victoriaelizabethart.com to find out more. That's victoriaelizabethart.com.
Welcome back to the show. I'm William Pelarenos. I'm your host here. Matthew is on the boards, producing our show today. And my guest here, if you're just joining us, is Colm. He's a retired Air Force tech sergeant with over 21 years in the Air Force. The first half of our program, we were talking about scams and where he was a victim of a Facebook scam. People used his identity to contact Facebook friends trying to sell Bitcoin in a cryptocurrency scam, and we discussed that. Now in the second half, I wanted to talk about his a little bit of the incidents he was involved in when he was in the Air Force. I'm very proud of you. Honorably discharged, 21 years, and I got some notes here. You actually during your career you served in Desert Shield and Desert Storm. Is that correct?
Desert Shield, Storm, Colm, and Watch. Those were the 4 deserts, then followed by Southern Watch, Northern Watch. So it was continuous conflict from that region, from that period.
So that was in the early 90s?
That was in 1990. Yeah, I remember I was supposed to get out like a month before Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait. So I was stop-lost, backdoor drafted in that time for that conflict.
So you served out in Desert Storm, Desert Shield, Iraqi Freedom, Southern Watch. And besides that, you were in '89, so you saw the Berlin Wall collapse, right?
Yeah, I was at Checkpoint Alpha, which was the border between East Germany and West Germany, which was a thing. It was like a no man's land, like you might see it between the North and South in Korea. And guards, walk in the walls, guards shoot to kill orders, and they did. Many who tried to flee from Eastern Germany to the West, because German people, they're just unbelievable how they took in an entire quarter of their size, and the people that were living in what was comparably still bombed out ruins. If you were to travel from Western Germany into Berlin, which you could only do on flag orders, the windows are all shuttered like you are when you're in Kuwait or something. They just not for any sense of just for your safety, because people can see you. There's a shot that can be made, and then there's an international incident. So that's not allowed. You can only go in through flag orders. So people were fleeing. That when you're leaving this way, it was like Gaza now. It was just leveled buildings, nothing left standing.
So the destruction was on the East German side, correct?
On the East German, because the Russians had no interest, or the Soviet Union had no interest in rewarding Germany. No, the Soviets were brutal to the German people. Oh my God, so much so that they were desperate to get out, but many of them became Stasi.
Yes, I know the Stasi. That was the East German police force or Secret Service, correct?
Right. And their mission was to keep the status quo, which was them under tow.
Yes. Okay. So you were there when the Berlin Wall collapsed, and then once it collapsed, people could move easily between East and West Germany. Correct?
For months before that, though, even before that, they were fleeing through Hungary. They were coming around, just avoiding the German border. They were coming in through Warsaw Pact-related countries into NATO alliances, but directly into Germany. If they made it to Germany, they were home. They just took a little, because you could travel to Hungary, anywhere in the Warsaw Pact region, you could travel like anywhere. I went all over Europe without a passport because I had a military ID card, which under SOFA, Status of Forces Agreement, you're allowed to do. And that's the same was true in, like in the States. We could travel anywhere in the United States with one driver's license. Anywhere in the world. I use my driver's license when I'm renting cars in other countries as well. It works. I'm getting off track.
And
here.
besides that, a part of your career, you were in Germany. You actually, and I started to touch on this before the break, and you were actually on the Ramstein Air Force or Air Show tragedy that occurred. You want to tell a little backstory on that?
It was in 1988, I believe. There was over 70 people killed. I'd say the majority of them were Americans. One of my jobs there, I was in transportation. I was on base at the time at the E-Club, the NCO Club, we called it. And what sounded like a table falling over was nothing really big. The place just went really quiet. Even though it was in the middle of the day, it wasn't really busy. But it was my day off. I was down. The show was going on. I know there's a lot of people. It's a good place to be. It's a nice event. And sure enough, there was a lot of families there, a lot of military families, primarily, because those were the people. They got front seats. If you were stationed there, there's going to be made room for you. But also, we employed a large portion of the population in that region with employment, like all the bus drivers, all the mechanics, not all the mechanics, but the basic day-to-day business were run by the civilian population. And so there was a lot of them on the base. Well, one of my jobs was I worked in transportation, so I had to remove the vehicles that were left on the flight line. And the first night, there was probably 100 cars that were on the parking lot that were left, that didn't go. But by the next day, usually, because the show was supposed to end at 6, and, that's all that's the air show would order. The Tricolari was, I'll get to that. All right, so we haven't talked about it. The Tricolari was the Italian aeronautical acrobatic team that had that tragic collision where they collided when they were on the bottom and completing the circle of interlaced
maneuvers. So they try maneuvers just like they do at the Chicago Air and Water Show. You've seen that, Manny, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
So it's usually the Blue Angels, or this year was the Air Force Thunderbirds. And they're doing these close quarters maneuvers. And I believe the collision occurred between 2 or 3 planes. Was it 3? 3. So 3 planes collided in midair. They came to the ground.
I forgot this is radio. 3. Yeah, 3.
3. And one of the planes, if I remember correctly, struck spectators, correct?
2 of them did.
2 of them did?
Yes.
And then the third one actually struck an American Forces helicopter, right?
That was an emergency response crew team. So that entire crew team was wiped out. It landed on the pad. The jet collided right into the helicopter crew pad. So the crewmen, the mechanics, the air traffic controllers, everybody who was there on that crew was wiped out at that moment. So that affected response time. But that wasn't the only one. There were responses coming out of the trees. I had no idea where there were. These guys jumping out, young guys jumping out, dressed all in black with submachine guns strapped to around their chest, but still their arms free because they were helping people up. You know, there wasn't like any. They weren't there to fight anybody. They were there to help. And I know they helped my ass because I was driving this deuce and a half across from command post to the flight line to help with an egress of whatever it was, and nothing else for people to get to land where cars couldn't get to easily without having to backlog through the taxiways and everything. Anyway, so I'm going through this, and these guys are helping me get this thing. This is a deuce and a half. This thing weighs at least 5,000 pounds. This is not and there were like three guys, and we got it. They got it right. We were out of there and moving, and I was glad that they were there. But I know that there were Americans that died in that day. Not personally. I didn't know any of them personally. I was single. I didn't have a family. We had a guy on the top of the building who had a camera filming this. And what's the first thing that they do is they try to get as much footage of the event that they can. He was a mechanic in our squadron, transportation. He was a grease nut monkey. I was a wheel nut. And he was what we were servicing, a cherry picker. So he was way up in the lift filming this, and he's all over the place because he can't believe it. It's like, you know, the one plane, all three planes go down, and they're fireballs, and they're unleashed that fury into the crowd, which was beyond the post barriers. They were beyond the barbed wire. So there was barbed wire, which turned out to be even worse because the people got blown away, but it was worse for people behind them because the barbed wire was like shrapnel that was thrown into the crowd. So there was a lot of people. But one of my jobs, besides that, taking people to the hospital days afterwards, the Lonsdale Army Regional Hospital, where volunteers were giving blood. That was primarily my mission for that. But I was also tasked with removing the vehicles as a tow truck driver. I was putting the belts to vehicles that had been left there for 4 or 5 days. And there was initially I'd say about 40 cars that still were there. So of the hundreds of cars that were there late that night, some family members came and picked them up, or they were dealing with, we're all leaving together or something. Plans change. So yeah, Americans did die that day. So if you want to do a little Googling and a little checking on this incident, just to get all the facts, you did a good job trying to rescue people and coordinate the recovery efforts. But it's called the Ramstein, R-A-M-S-T-I-N Air Show Disaster. Okay. And it occurred on Sunday, 28 August 1988, during Flugtag 88 Air Show at the United States Air Force Ramstein Air Base near West Germany. 3 aircraft of the Italian Air Force display team collided during their display, crashing to the ground in front of a crowd of 300,000 people. That huge. It could have been worse. Oh, it was a place to be that day. If you're going to be at that base, that was an event. So like the total fatalities that are listed according to this Google search is there were 70 fatalities. The 3 pilots, the Italian pilots, were killed, and the other fatalities were 67 spectators. 346 spectators sustained serious injuries and resulted in explosion and fire. So that's where you're talking about the barbed wire hitting these people from the impact of the explosion, and also fire injuries. The fire must have been incredible on the ground. That was jet fuel burning, correct? Yes. So, which was wider at the crash site where the crew because there was gas on top of the truck. Yeah. Jet fuel, I think, takes a different type. You can't just throw water on it like a fire. You have to throw foam, correct? If I remember correctly from my aviation days, burning jet fuel. I think we have to foam it, right? Yeah, I've never had hand experience with putting out jet fuel fires. I was just careful not to see one. At the time, it was the deadliest air show accident in history, but there was a worse one in 2002 crash at the air show in the Ukraine. It killed 77 people. When was that? 2002. It was, I can't pronounce the name, look at it. Can you see with your glasses? Skinilov Air Show. Skinilov. Yes, the air show in the Ukraine, and that killed 77 people. These pilots are fantastic, but just like anything else, at any time, anything can go wrong. Something happens. Bird strike? Yes, bird strike, air current, things like this happen, and
it can end up in tragedy. With 300,000 spectators, 70 died. A lot were saved, and the 346 injured survived their injuries. So it was
fair to say that if you were on that base, you were considered, if you were, whether you work. So that's counting the people that never even got to see the show, I imagine, if it's that number. Because being there that day, there were a lot of people, but at one time, and then this was a finale, so there was more people congregated. I wasn't there on the flight line. I was in the NCO club.
So yes, we should have got that in the beginning. When the impact occurred, It was your off day, and you were at the enlisted man's club, where you could get food and liquor and stuff like that. So it was your off day, and then I think you told me everything went quiet in the club. No more music played. Everything stopped. Correct?
Yeah, it was like a thud, like a table fell over, and we were like, and then the music stopped, and then I thought maybe there was a fight in the bar, but then it was really quiet, and I'm like, no, there's no fight going on in here, and I'm like, then it was a little not unsettling, but I was just like, are they closing or something? I don't know. I was like, what? And they announced that there had been a crash.
As soon as they said air crash, everybody took off, right?
I don't know about everybody else. I did. It wasn't very crowded in the club at that time. It's like I said. It was like 4:00 in the afternoon. It wasn't early, but it was still early. Too little early to be hanging at the club, unless you were just waiting for something more. Anyway, I took off right away, and my station is directly in line on foot by about maybe 300 yards from the club to my workstation, which was in transportation. So on the edge of that, I could hear emergency klaxons going off and stuff like that. But for the most part, I didn't hear a lot of. It was just really weird. And there was a chapel that was right before our compound. So the NCO club was down the corner, then we passed by CBPO, or Civilian Base Personnel Office, and then you go further down, there was a church. And I went into that church, and I was not knowing what to expect. I was like, because I knew churches were gathering points. At one point, it was gathering for injured, but it was really quiet. I just went in, and I took it. It was so quiet in there compared to outside. And as I was standing there, this full-bird colonel comes up behind me. He's a priest. He's a priest or a chaplain. And he asked me, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I think I'm okay." And he goes, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sure." And he goes, "All right then." I'm like, "Okay." He's going his way. Then I took off to the flight line, where I was then tasked with moving personnel as much as I could, which is why I was in a deuce and a half by the command post at that time. Did I mention that? Yeah. But the tricolor, if I didn't, the collision, how it happened, they were flying at each other directly when they crisscrossed their path. Then they did an inverted crisscross on top, going around down and to the bottom, where they, at that point, one was out of alignment with one. They struck each other, and then that third one struck another one, which that third one went into the helicopter crew, if I recall. I didn't see that. That's what I witnessed. I just witnessed the planes afterward and was given that assessment.
You witnessed the aftermath and helped with the rescue and recovery. Hey, this is why we always got to thank our military for your service, sir. This is why people don't understand the death and destruction that first responders and the military see. And by the way, I had a lady here. She's a therapist with the therapy dog. Matthew, you were here for this?
Yes.
Yes, and she talks about PTSD for the military as well as first responders who have witnessed this type of incident. And she's having a fundraiser on September 24th. And I'll put that on my Facebook page. I already bought tickets for that. So I'll put that on my Facebook page. Follow me at Pelarenos Police Project. And what she's going to do, she has a 90-minute movie during this presentation. It's in Norwich on September 24th. It's a Wednesday. And she has a 90-minute movie, and then afterwards there's a presentation, and it's a $25 fee to get in. I'll put everything. Just follow me on Pelarenos Police Project, and we'll also put it on this on my Twitter. So follow me at Pelarenos Police Project on Facebook. I know you're not on Facebook no more because we talked about that scam in the beginning.
Yeah, I wouldn't want
but I'm going to send you.
that.
I'm going to send you a link.
Yeah, if there's a way to get Facebook to respond, I'd love to know because I don't exist. Oh, and furthermore, when I told you about that stuff about the fraud, I was made whole, but when I was told in order to get reimbursed for any compensation available whatsoever, I had to contact the Treasury Department because it was a electronic financial crime. If they were doing Bitcoins things with these scams like this. And unless it was $150,000, they wouldn't even talk to me. That was the Secret Service that told me that. I just spoke with, because they are the police authority for secrets for the Treasury Department, like the Untouchables, Elliot Ness and those guys.
That's interesting. All right, talking about that fundraiser, it's called Resilient Heroes Community Gathering. It's going to be on Wednesday, September 24th at 6 p.m. The movie will be My Dead Friend Zoe, Z-O-E, followed by a discussion with Resilient Heroes founder Liz Pohl. This film follows Merritt, a U.S. Army Afghanistan veteran grappling with post-traumatic stress disorder and the grief from the death of Zoe, his best friend in combat. It also reconnects her estranged grandfather, a Vietnam Army veteran who's experiencing his own mental health issues and refuses help. There's going to be a QR code I can attach if you want to buy tickets. They're $25. I've already purchased mine, and we'll be going to that event. Liz Pohl is just wonderful. I asked her if she's going to bring Arlo, which is the therapy dog. Mm-hmm. That baby's 200 pounds. Did you see that? Huge.
Oh, yes. And I'm in the station.
There. If you're following us on YouTube, Matthew brought that up. Meet Arlo. And he looks huge, but he's a wonderful dog. He was here an hour and a half with us, never barked. And he doesn't mind being petted by human beings. It's really soothing. It's a good experience, and people that have encountered tragedies like you have, but it's good to be going to these classes and these type of events, and you get together with others that have seen death and destruction, and people just don't understand what first responders and our military go through. So I just want to reiterate. I want to say thank you for your service, my man.
It was an honor to serve.
Yes. And it's great that you were here joining me, and I enjoy your company. And I'll see you next month at the Veterans Meeting at Frisbee Center. By the way, any veterans out there, the first Thursday of every month at the Frisbee Senior Center on Northwest Highway in Des Plaines, veterans meet. You don't have to be a member of the Frisbee Senior Center to go there. It's at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., first Thursday of every month, and we have guest speakers. Yesterday, I was the guest speaker, along with the lady from the Illinois Department of Veterans Affairs. And
Tanya Reyes.
Huh?
Tanya Reyes.
She was there. We were the two guest speakers, and she's very good. Yeah, and I was talking about these scams that we talked about in the first half of this program, and Colm told me about his Facebook scam, and it was just unbelievable. So I know billions of people are on Facebook. What's that?
What's unbelievable? He went John Wick on the way here. I mean, he's like, if we had more time, we would have stopped some crimes. I'm like, oh.
I appreciate you coming out here today. Maybe we could do another radio show in the future. You got such a great career. I mean, you were all over the world.
If I had to check with my son Matthew, if that would be all right. So,
of course.
But yeah, I'd love it. It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun.
Yes. So anyways, my man Matthew's here on the boards. We're going to go see you next week, Friday. Follow us, 12:05. We're right here every Friday. Catch you next week.